Welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Terry Stiles alongside my co-anchor Jim Hughes. Hi Jim, thanks for being here.
Hey, thank you Terry for joining me today again on Oxford News This Week. Hey, some of the things going on making the switch to virtual learning. Also, community meals need you, and the last rulings from the MHSAA.
All that and more, the Oxford News begins right now. Construction workers on M24 project recently experienced a scare this past week when a gas line was accidentally ruptured. The scare took place out in front of the tap in downtown Oxford. As a result, the Golden Dragon, the Oxford Tap, Valor Salon, and the Atchison building were evacuated as a precaution. Thankfully, no one was hurt, as Consumers Energy was at the scene promptly to resolve the mishap and allowed construction to continue. It looks like they hit a line when they were doing construction. Jim?
Thank you, Terry. The Michigan High School Athletics Association has been no stranger to uncertainty when it pertains to sports in 2020. Unfortunately, those timelines could be running out and hope soon. The MHSAA's director, Mark Ewell, who has recently featured on The Huge Show, admitted that while no deadline has yet been set, the clock is ticking. Ewell emphasized 3 sports remain in limbo and are all set for games, matches, and meets to begin. However, Ewell reminded listeners the league must still wait for an approval from Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. When pressed on the question of a deadline, Ewell simply stated, "It needs to be soon. The longer it takes, the bigger the obstacles." Terry.
In other news, the Zoning Board of Appeals welcomed a new member to its team this past week. Oxford resident Norris McGelly was sworn in at the recent Township Board meeting. An Oxford resident since 2008, McGelly is a current employee with Clarkston Medical Group. McGelly's terms will run through December 31st, 2021. And if I'm saying your name wrong, I apologize. Jim?
A local meal program has been extremely important to the Oxford community for many years. Lost a vital partner recently in the form of the Oxford schools. The Community Meals program offers free cooked meals and groceries to anyone in need at the Oxford United Methodist Church. Every Wednesday from 5:30 to 6:30, the Oxford Schools Nutrition Services Department had been donating its leftovers from the own free meals program. However, unfortunately, the program has yet and recently ended. OCTV's own Connie Miller is the lead organizer for the program, acknowledged that the assistance by stating they have been extremely generous with us, referring to the school program's donations. Community Meals has continued to grow with new faces each week and is currently assists nearly 150 people per week with the cooked meals or groceries in time of when it's needed. Community Meals is now asking for the community to rally together to help those who are still in need during these difficult times. For more details on how you can be part of it, the change, and make a positive difference, you can contact Connie Miller at 248-933-4579. I'll give you that number once again, 248-933-4579. Or feel free to drop off fruits and veggies to the church at 4:30 on Wednesdays. Remember, every little bit counts. They do need your help. Terry.
In a recent Zoom meeting for the Oxford School Board, School Superintendent Tim Throne announced that over 1,000 students have elected to transfer to Oxford's virtual academy. The high number will surely make things easier for students and staff to follow social distancing guidelines mandated by the state. Assistant Superintendent Ken Weaver noted the play was to try and keep high school and middle school classes to a size of around 25 students to assist with their efforts in preventing outbreaks. He also noted that he and the board have been working hard to accommodate those online students and their teachers with their needs during these uncertain times. Also of note from the meeting was the recent survey that was sent out to all Oxford school employees. Of those 700 employees, over 400 responded to take the survey. When asked about the level of comfort of returning to face face-to-face interaction. 21% said they were very comfortable and ready to return, while nearly 24% stated they were very uncomfortable and would rather not return, clearly explaining the number of online transfers to Oxford's virtual academy. Jim?
In a rare Saturday gathering of the Oxford School Board held an emergency meeting recently to discuss the vote enrollment deadlines for school of choice students. The vote was a clean 6-0 ruling in favor of cutting the enrollment deadline from August 26th to August 17th. Anyone who is already in registration, the program by 11:59 was allowed to, however, to finish the recent ruling, and was in direct correlation to the Michigan House Bill 5913, which is a bipartisan support of the state legislature and was signed by, again, Michigan's Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Important to note, Oxford Schools Board expressed strong opposition to this bill. The bill weights per pupil funding for school districts based on 75% of last year's enrollment numbers and 25% of this year's count. Superintendent Tim Throne described what that would look like, an example of his own, by saying the district had 1,000 students last fall and 1,400 this fall, which means the district will get 75% of the 1,000 and 25% of the 1,000. Many board members are frustrated with the ruling as it hurts districts that see growth in enrollment through school of choice. Terry.
Well, that's it for Oxford News this week. If you'd like to learn more about these stories and others, pick up a copy of the Oxford Leader newspaper. Go to the Charter Township of Oxford Facebook page, or better yet, you can catch us on Charter Channel 191 and AT&T Channel 99, or our website, occtv.org.
Well, you can catch us everywhere, can't you?
Yeah,
Hey, I want to say thanks for watching again. Want to thank Connie with the food program, if you can get out there and help with that. We got Dan Weiss in the back. He's our director, and who's he got with him back there today?
Alex Happy.
Alex Happy. Is that her last name?
That's her last name.
How can you not be happy with that name, huh?
It's a great name. She knows how to run the TriCaster, so she and Dan are working together.
We're happy that she's happy.
I'm very happy. I'm happy to have her.
Anyways, good to have you on this week's edition of Oxford News This Week. We'll be back again next week, and make sure to wear your mask if you can. This mask's a little tarnished, I guess.
Where we bring your news closer to home.
Oh, I was supposed to say that. She wrote it.
I just had to say it.
Where we bring your news closer to home. We'll bring it to your house if we can. Okay?
And I will wear my mask, I promise.
It's okay.
See you
Bye.
there.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, pet them, care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture, you can jump, yell, you can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. 'Cause we're connected.
Welcome in, everybody. I'm Dave Cesefske with School News. As Oxford returns back to school, protocols for athletes and students have become extremely important during these times. Recently, I met with head athletic trainers Andrew McDonald and Alyssa Beeman to discuss those changes and how it impacts the day-to-day practices.
Hello, my name is Andrew McDonald. I'm the certified athletic trainer at Oxford High School.
Hi, my name's Alyssa Gallagher. I am another certified athletic trainer here at Oxford High School. So growing up, I played a lot of sports as well. Soccer was my main sport. I went to Oakland University and played soccer, and that's kind of what got me interested. I knew I always wanted to be in the health field. I did my undergrad in pre-med, not knowing exactly what I wanted to go into. I had an injury in college as well, tore my groin, and working with an athletic trainer through that whole process, you know, it kind of put it in perspective for me. Medicine I loved, sports I loved, so I was able to get the best of both worlds by going into athletic training, and I went out to St. Louis University to get my master's in athletic training.
I've been here for 20 years. This is the start of my 21st year. I'm also an educator at Oxford Middle School. This is my 10th year as a science teacher. So what keeps me motivated as an athletic trainer is each day is a different day. There's a lot of different challenges that you see as an athletic trainer. Some days you go from a back injury to, the most serious is a neck injury or a head injury, a concussion, and then the mundane things of just rehabbing an ankle.
So fortunate that starting out as an athletic trainer in a high school setting, I have a coworker who's been doing it for so long, so he is so helpful in that sense. But on top of that, we use physicians for a lot of injuries. We need clearance on that, and that helps us out. Physical therapists, we have a team physical therapist we work with every day. Coaches, there's a lot of mental aspect to it as well. So it's a very wide spectrum on how we go about evaluating their readiness to get back out there. But in general, it's everything we've learned, everything we've kind of trained for, and we use all of those different aspects of it to decide when they're ready to get back out there.
That's it for school news this week. Make sure you stay tuned for Dave Kenny with Auto Talk.
Welcome to Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from Automotive News. In our first story, NHTSA has launched a mobile app that automatically checks for safety recalls and alerts users when a recall has been issued, the Department of Transportation announced. The agency's Safer Car app allows users to type in or scan their VIN number and receive recall notifications on their iOS or Android devices. Users can save information for their vehicles, car seats, tires, and other equipment in a virtual garage on their devices to get critical safety information and access other NHTSA online tools. If a recall is issued, the app directs the user to a local dealership handling repairs. To inform the public of the app, there will be a paid digital campaign, organic social media push, and outreach to safety partners, a NHTSA spokesman said. The total number of vehicles, car seats, tires, and equipment recalled in 2019 was about 53 million, according to the agency, with vehicles making up 38.6 million, or nearly 73% of those items recalled. In our next story, Michigan leaders intend to place connected and autonomous vehicles in the test lane, or that is to say the fast lane, toward the future. With an eye toward embracing industry R&D efforts, the state has said it will embark on efforts to sketch a corridor between Detroit and Ann Arbor loaded with infrastructure that can speed deployment and enable safe movement of those vehicles. Renderings, which will explore the viability of building such a corridor, depict the creation of dedicated lanes reserved for connected and autonomous vehicles that are separated from human traffic by separation barriers that ensure safety and efficiency, according to CAVNU. CAVNU, a subsidiary of Sidewalk Infrastructure Partners, a division of Alphabet Incorporated, Google's parent company, will run the exploratory project along with Google subsidiary Sidewalk Labs, the computer urban digitalization platform. Officials will evaluate the project over the next 24 months. But a road tailor-made for connected and autonomous vehicles with extra attention paid to lane markings, the creation of high-definition maps, and ubiquitous connectivity would be a first. Both Interstate 94 and Michigan Avenue could be the key routes in linking the two cities, and leaders envision further connections to major passenger and freight hubs, namely Detroit Metropolitan Wayne County Airport and Willow Run Airport, as part of the project. Wow. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and we'll be right back.
Welcome in, everyone. As always, I'm Dave Cesefske with your OCTV Sports. With recent developments, the MHSAA has provided a little bit of hope for all the fans of fall football. The time frame may be changed when those games are played. However, the Wildcats are primed to be ready to roll when the time comes. The feel around the program is a mixture of excitement as well as focus, with the new regime locked and loaded to take the program to new heights. Under first-year head coach Zach Line, the Wildcats took some time to meet with us on the field to discuss just how they plan to do so.
It's a completely different type of feel. The charisma, the energy we have at practices, you don't see people getting yelled at. You don't see people with their head down. You don't see people afraid to ask a question. You know, everyone's high energy the whole time.
Obviously, Oxford's been under the helms of Coach Raleigh for a long time, 38 years, and Oxford community is blessed to have him here for that long. And the one thing I didn't have to adjust when I got here was discipline and dedication and hard work. Those are things that have been driven into Oxford since day one. So when I got here, my message was just 1/11th. So that's kind of the theme we've had since day one. Is on any given play, there's 11 guys on the field, and as long as you do your one job, your 1/11th of that play, that's all we need. So it goes back to the Patriots, any team that you play for, really at any level. It's just do your job, and things work out. And that's in the classroom, that's in the weight room, that's as a teammate. Just do your job. Don't try to do more. Don't try to do less. So that's kind of been the message we've had. And the other principles we have that we talk about are relentless effort and preparation. So if we're the most prepared team on game day, knowing the situations, knowing our playbook for that week, and then relentless effort. That's a given, and I think that's a staple here in Oxford for a long time.
If you want to catch the full interviews with Wildcat players and coaches, including head coach Zach Klein, make sure you tune in weekly at 4 p.m. for the premiere of Behind the Fence. High school football obviously won't be back this fall, but teams can continue to work out according to the recent guidelines released Thursday, August 20th by the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Under the guidelines, teams will be allowed 16 days of voluntary practice between August 24th through October 31st. Players will be allowed to wear helmets, but no pads during this time. It's important to note the MHSAA will be releasing more information in regards to a timeline for spring football at a later date to be announced. Well, that's it for sports this week. Make sure you stay tuned for Dave Kenny with Science in the News. Go Cats!
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from New Scientist. Walking catfish are sometimes literally fish out of water, but they can function quite well as a landlubber and are now the first fish confirmed to be able to smell through air. Native to Southeast Asia, walking catfish are not content to glide through one body of water their whole lives. They can travel to a new pool by leaving the water and walking on their fins over land, breathing the air. Similar amphibious fish were assumed to use their vision to navigate on land, says Noah Bressman at Chapman University of California. But walking catfish commonly come ashore at night and have tiny underdeveloped eyes. Curious to find out if the catfish were sensing chemicals in the air, Bressman and his colleagues caught 150 walking catfish and placed each in an enclosure on land to expose them to a battery of odoriferous substances. The fish flopped away from noxious hydrogen sulfide, but chased down the scent of pond water with alanine, a compound that induces a strong taste response in submerged catfish. The findings suggest that walking catfish are the first fish known to use chemoreception out of water, and Bressman says they may use this sense to orient themselves on overland travels. Fish weren't thought capable of accomplishing this because their olfactory and taste systems have evolved for use in water. Fish have a difficult time sucking air into their nostrils, for example. Underwater, taste and smell go hand in hand, says Bressman. Unlike humans who taste with direct contact but can smell things from long distances, fish can both taste and smell compounds that are originating from a long distance because of the liquid environment, he says. Bressman thinks the walking catfish may be using a form of aerial testing thanks to the taste buds that blanket their entire body, even on their sensitive whiskers. Well, that's it for the Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.